Hello BookTube, it's Ben here from the History Fellow channel. Here today with a book haul video. I've had a box from Pen and Sword Books delivered this morning. I've got 11 books I need to start getting read. I hope everybody's well. Here in the UK, it's pretty wet and windy. Summer seems to have finished. But obviously, if you're over in America, in the States, please take care, look after yourselves. I know Florida's been hit by Hurricane Ian, I think it is, and I've got a few viewers I know that live in the Florida area, including Vicky, who lives obviously in Florida. I hope you're all taking care, being safe, and I hope sort of no harm comes to any of you, so please look after yourselves. I haven't done many videos this week. I've been so busy. Hopefully with the end of summer coming up and getting into autumn, things will start slowing down a bit more, and I've got some new ideas for maybe sort of a second channel, but hopefully I can let you know more about that tomorrow when I do a weekly reads video. I know I haven't done one this week, but I'm planning on doing one tomorrow. So that's that, but let's get on with the book haul. First up is a slightly odd book. It's called Shipwrecks in 100 Objects. Written by Simon Wills and published by Frontline Books. I'm presuming it's something like, they look at various shipwreckages and they say what they've found and that sort of thing, and there's a picture of the Titanic on the front and maybe some of the items that they've gotten off that. But from the back of the book it says, to see Admiral Beaumont that was next to us, and all the rest of his men, how they climbed up the mainmast, hundreds at a time, crying out for help and thinking to save their lives, and in the twinkling of an eye were drowned. That's a quote from the Great Storm of 1703. The wind was blowing towards the shore, and fury of the sea dashed off our raft against the rocks with tremendous force. Many were killed in this way, and one raft was overturned 3 times. I do not know quite how I got ashore. And that's from someone on the HMS Hampshire from 1916. So it's probably more about the wreckages and kind of the things that they've found on these shipwrecks. But Shipwrecks in 100 Objects, written by Simon Wills, priced at £25 and published by Frontline Books. Right, the next one is looking at the Battle of Britain. Many of the pilots that were involved in that. And on the front it's called Forgotten Heroes of the Battle of Britain, written by Dilip Sarkar, MBE, published by Pen and Sword Books and priced at £25. Let me read you the first paragraph from the inside cover. Lasting 16 weeks during the momentous year of 1940, the Battle of Britain ended with the Luftwaffe having failed to achieve the decisive victory that Hitler had demanded, whilst the technical details of the aircraft and weapons involved are of course crucial to our understanding of the events of that summer. The battle was fought by human beings, and it is that human experience and contribution to this author is the most important thing to acknowledge, record and share. Nearly 3,000 fighter command aircrew fought in the Battle of Britain, immortalised by Churchill as the few Of these, 544 lost their lives that blood-stained summer, and 700 more would die before the Second World War ended. A victory very likely impossible had the few not held out in 1940. So it looks quite an interesting one. I don't know what it is, maybe it's a British thing, but I always have quite a fascination with the Battle of Britain. It's kind of like a David and Goliath type story, and you hear about all these little Spitfires going up against all these big German bombers and that, and succeeding. So it should be good. The next one, it's called Eyewitness at Dieppe. The only first-hand account of World War II's most disastrous raid. And that's written by Ross Rayburn. I recently read a book about the Dieppe offensive from, I think it was in Amberley Publishing. And you often find with these publishing companies, when you get an anniversary come round or some sort of event, there's suddenly lots of books published on that particular event. So this is one of them, I think. Priced at £20, published by Pen and Sword Books. August 2022 will mark both the anniversary. Hang on, let me start again. August 2022 will mark both anniversary. No, it says. Sorry, I can't read. August of 2022 will mark the 80th anniversary of the Dieppe raid. Made up of predominantly Canadian forces, the doomed raid constituted Canada's worst military disaster. Wallace Rayburn, OBE, was a war correspondent who later wrote a best-selling account of his experiences. He was with the first soldiers clambering ashore in the doomed raid and aboard the last ship returning to England. First published as a rehearsal for the invasion, Eyewitness at Dieppe brings Wallace's unique account of his unparalleled experience of the raid back into publication. Accompanied by an insightful introduction by his son, this new edition offers a suspenseful narrative, providing a vivid insight into the unwelcome realities of warfare. See, on the first sentence it says 80th, but it actually looks like both. That's where I was being tripped up. But it's a light book, but it does look interesting. Right, the next one on a slightly different subject is called Factory Girls, The Work and Lives of Women and Children. Written by Paul Crystal. I recognise that name from somewhere. I've read a book of his before. I think it was a book on sweets or something like that. But anyway, it's priced at £25. Published by Pen and Sword Books. Provides an overdue and much needed re-examination of the factory girl and child labour from the Industrial Revolution to 1914. Covers the lamentable conditions endured by women and children in the factories, down the mines and up the chimneys. Details the Factory Act's social reform, model villages and feminism and activism. Describes numerous debilitating and life-shortening occupational diseases and industrial accidents. Concludes with a survey of the factory girl in literature, arts and popular music over the years. Is the first of a 2-volume series. Volume 2 covers women's work in the World Wars and in between. Due for publication in 2023. So this is obviously the first book looking at more of the workplace in the 19th century. So it looks good, and I like the 19th century. A lot of weird and strange stuff used to go on that century. The next book is Spies Who Changed History, written by Nigel West, the greatest spies and agents of the 20th century. And I'll read you one of the quotes from the back. The KGB's plan was to orchestrate a communist coup in Iran, overthrow the mullahs, and then have the new puppet regime invite the Kremlin to occupy and administer the country and its vast oil assets. But Kazakhstan defected to the British and identified the key conspirators in the plot, and their names were passed to the Islamic Republic, with Pakistan's Inter-Services Intelligence Directorate acting as an intermediary. The disclosure led to a bloodbath, but the coup was prevented. That's from Vladimir Kazakin. Sounds quite familiar to what's going on today. Spies Who Changed History by Nigel West. That's £25 and it's published by Frontline Books. Their spy books are quite good, and I've read a couple of Nigel West books. The next one I'm really interested in looking at, and it's called Women of the American Revolution, written by Samantha Wilcoxon, published by Pen and Sword Books, priced at £20. A focused history on the daily life and challenges of the American War for Independence as they affected women. Not all women were on the side of revolution, from rebels to loyalists to the US First Lady. This book takes an intimate look at the female activists on all sides. Features well-known names such as Martha Washington, wife of George Washington, and Elizabeth Schuyler Hamilton, from Lin-Manuel Miranda's Hamilton. Now, actually, the American Revolution, I don't know that. I'm not a great big knowledgeable fan of. It tends, if it's American history, it tends to be like 19th century or Civil War. So the unfortunately, the Revolution gets missed out of it. So I'm really looking forward to reading that. Kind of halfway through now. I've got a soft cover here. On the Trail of Jack the Ripper, written by Richard Charles Cobb and Mark Davis. I recognise the Richard Charles Cobb name. He might be a specific Jack the Ripper author. But that's On the Trail of Jack the Ripper. For 134 years, the murders committed in London's East End by the infamous Jack the Ripper have baffled the world. The Ripper murders commenced in August and continued freely until the beginning of November 1888, when inexplicably the murders stopped. 5 women were brutally murdered and savagely mutilated in and around Whitechapel. The killer was never caught despite the very best intentions of the police and thousands of would-be detectives following his trail. And actually there's a kind of a small biography on the 2 authors, and it says Richard C. Cobb is regarded as one of the world's leading authorities on the Jack the Ripper case and the Whitechapel murders. So, yes, obviously a prolific writer on anything to do with Jack the Ripper. That's soft cover. The Trail of Jack the Ripper, published by Pen and Sword Books and priced at $14.99. I like a Jack the Ripper book, but it has to be good and informative, because there's so much churned out about one crime that some of it gets a little bit boring or laborious, but if it's really good, well written, then it's usually a good and interesting read. Right, the next book, William IV, the last Hanoverian King of Britain, written by John van der Kiest. Priced at £25 and published by Pen and Sword Books. This new book portrays the life and character of the good King Billy, one of Britain's most endearing sovereigns and down-to-earth Hanoverians. He was never destined to be king, and his reign is often overshadowed by the tumultuous Regency and transformative Victorian period. But his time on the throne was crucial. William and Queen Adelaide restored the popularity of the crown and laid the foundations of the modern monarchy, paving the way for his niece, Queen Victoria. So that's William IV, the last Hanoverian King of Britain. Priced at £25, published by Pen and Sword Books. The third to last book is a book about Robert Baden-Powell, a biography written by Lorraine Gibson, with a foreword by Bear Grylls. Probably the less I say about him, the better. But, published by Pen and Sword Books and published by Pen and Sword Books, priced at £25. One man, two lives. The first informed by a thirst for warfare, the second by a desire for world peace. Two astonishing stories in one book, written from a female journalist's viewpoint. An updated and contemporary biography with new revelations and insights into a truly fascinating man who remains universally recognisable, or as universally recognisable as the Queen. A timely reassessment of the life and actions of the constantly conflicted and phenomenally influential leader and his impact on the world. An engaging and accessible history book for today's generation, including the world's 54 million Scouts, about the founder of the largest non-religious youth movement in existence. Well, I might not agree with the non-religious, it's very white, middle class and Christian based, but there you go. Robert Baden-Powell, a biography, £25 and published by Pen and Sword Books. The penultimate book, Cardinal Woolsey for King and Country, written by Phil Roberts. Another one of these characters that you see behind the king. You know, there's that saying where, you know, behind every great man is an even greater woman, or something like that. It's pretty much the same with some of these characters that you see assisting kings and that throughout their lifetimes. On the front, a vivid and passionate study of a man who changed the course of Tudor England forever. A much needed biography. Mentor to Thomas Cromwell and Henry VIII's trusted advisor for many years before his failure to secure the king a divorce from Catherine of Aragon. The life of Cardinal Woolsey is part of the rich tapestry woven by the tumultuous Tudor period. And that's published by Pen and Sword Books and priced at £20. And probably the book I'm most looking forward to is this one called Battle. Understanding Conflict from Hastings to Helmand written by Graham Callister and Rachel Whitbread. Published by Pen and Sword Books and priced at £25. This seems like my kind of book. Thought-provoking exploration of the factors that determine the outcome of battles. Considers leadership, army organisation, terrain, morale, tactics, fighting methods, logistics, weapons, military tradition and culture. Features graphic examples from medieval and modern military history. Shows how a complex interaction of factors influences what happens on the battlefield. That's priced at £25 and published by Pen and Sword Books. That's probably going to be my first and favourite one to read. So there we go. There we have it, all 11 books. All from the Pen and Sword Publishing Company. So there we go, that's it for today's book haul. Thank you very much for watching. As I said, I will do another weekly reads video either tonight or tomorrow. So have a look out for that one as well. If you've got any comments, please feel free to drop them down below this video. There will be a link to Pen and Sword in the description below this video as well. And what else have I got to remember? If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. It all helps. Thank you very much. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, then please feel free to do so. If you like history and you like history books, then hopefully this is a channel you will enjoy. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you very soon. Take care.